Behind every business, there's one number that determines a business's success or failure. If you get this number right, chances are you're gonna have effortless momentum and growth. And if you get this number wrong, you're always gonna be struggling. And that number is LTV to CAC. Let's break this down. LTV is lifetime value, and CAC is customer acquisition cost. So LTV is how much money you make on average from a client versus how much money you spend to acquire a client. And the relationship between these two numbers is make or break for any business. So in my own company, we were just going through this analysis, and we were actually doing LTV to CAC analyses based on different product groups that we have in our company. And we found this one product that our company sells that has a 96% annual client retention rate on hundreds of clients, and we ended up breaking it down. We took our average revenue per client under this product, we multiplied it by our gross profit per client, and that showed us our gross profit dollar amount, or what's known as contribution margin, for that product. And then we multiplied it by our 96% annual client retention rate, and our LTV, our lifetime value for clients who bought that package, ended up being over $220,000 in margin that we get from clients who buy this package, right? Over the lifetime of the client. The first thing that most entrepreneurs miss is how to expand LTV. If I were to ask you, what's your customer lifetime value? Chances are you probably don't know it. You've probably never done a full equation on it. Or number two, even if you did do the calculation, your LTV is probably too low. And if your lifetime value per customer is too low, you are going to struggle most likely in your business. So let's talk about ways to increase lifetime value and what actually determines lifetime value. In order to get a great lifetime value from your customers, you first have to charge enough money, right? You have to receive enough money from each customer that you deal with, right? So a simple solution is to just charge more money for the same service, right? Therefore, your costs remain flat, your top line revenue increases, and therefore you make just straight more profit per customer, right? So that's like a super simple way to increase your lifetime value. A second way to increase your lifetime value is to get more margin per client revenue, right? So for example, let's say for every dollar you get for a product you sell, you're spending 50% of it on labor costs, right? So every dollar you make, 50% goes out the door to deliver that product. A simple way to look at this is, let's say you're selling diapers through an e-commerce website, and it costs $10 for you to buy the diapers, and you're selling the diaper pack for $20. Your difference there is $10. So you're making $10 margin on your diaper sales, right? But your lifetime value can't just be based on the one-time purchase. It also has to be based on repeat purchases or retention rate, depending on your business model, right? So let's say a first-time diaper purchaser purchases an average of 10 diaper transactions from you, right? Well, that $10 diaper purchase is actually worth $100 in lifetime value because that one person bought 10 different times from you. So one way to increase your lifetime value for your clients is to get them to buy more stuff from you. Pretty simple. Or obviously the first option I said is to increase the amount you're charging. And then the third way is to increase retention, right? So if you are on a recurring revenue business, you can just increase retention rate. The only reason that this one product I'm talking about at our company has a 96% annual retention rate is, you guessed it, people are really, really happy with the product and getting amazing results and wanting, out of every 100 people we get to sign up for this client, this product, 96 of them are renewing for a second year, right? So clearly, 96% of people are renewing for this, they're getting great results from this product, and that's why they're renewing, right? If you think about this for your business, you ask yourself, How can I increase my average fee per product? How can I increase my margin per product? How can I increase repeat transactions? Or if you're recurring revenue, how can I increase my retention rate for this product? So that's ways you can increase your LTV. Right there, what I just went through is something that most entrepreneurs never do. I would argue that 99% of entrepreneurs never do a true LTV, customer lifetime value analysis on their business. And therefore, they probably never make LTV focused decisions in their business because they never have the data for it, or they never spend any time thinking about it. Which leads to like one of the biggest problems I see in entrepreneurs is they're just not focused on the numbers. And when you're not focused on the numbers, you're not focused on the right things, because numbers are what drive business. If it's not measurable, it's not important. And in business, numbers are the proof of measurability. You can measure your employee happiness with employee net promoter score surveys. You can measure your client happiness by doing net promoter score surveys and having your clients rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 in happiness. You can measure net profit, gross profit, average transaction value, cost of acquisition. You can basically measure every single element of your business. But if you don't measure it, then you're not going to improve it. What gets measured gets managed. What gets measured and you hold someone accountable to self-improves. That's where the real magic happens. That's one side of the equation, is lifetime value. How do you increase the lifetime value per customer? And you can do what's called a cohort analysis on this, where you can basically look at how many clients you signed up or how many clients you have in a specific cohort of different categories. For example, you could say, let's say you have 5 different products in your company. Product number 1, you have 100 clients on it and 5 of them left you in the last year, meaning you have a 95% retention rate on that product. But you notice very quickly that the 5 people who left you, when you break it down by the revenue, let's say that you have a B2B company. Let's say you sell this product to businesses that are doing between 0 to 500K in revenue. And that's one cohort that you sold this product to. And then you sell this product to businesses that are doing between 500K to 2 million in revenue. And those are your 2 customer cohorts, right? Under 500K and then 500K to 2 million. Well, let's say that your 5 lost customers all came from the lower 500K bracket of customers. And you lost no customers in the bracket of 500K to 2 million. Well, that tells you that you're actually at 100% retention rate for that higher level revenue bracket, which would tell you that you should sell this product to people doing over $500,000 in revenue, as an example. So my point in sharing that is when you do cohort analysis, you are able to break down your LTV, your customer lifetime value, by segment of customer in addition to by segment of product, right? So let's say you take those 2 customer cohorts, businesses doing under 500K and businesses doing 500K to 2 million, and let's say you replicate that for a second product of yours. Let's say that second product is called product 2. And product 2 is half the price of product 1. And when you look at the data on lost clients, let's say you lost 5 clients out of 100 for product 2, and you look at the data, you realize that you lost 5 clients from the cohort of 500K to 2 million, but you lost 0 clients for the 0 to 500K client cohort. Well, that tells you you should sell this product to smaller businesses, and maybe you undersold the bigger companies that you sold this product to by giving them product number 2. The point is that by doing a cohort analysis, you're able to optimize your company's lifetime value relatively quickly and make key decisions that improve the average amount of gross margin that you're getting per client throughout the lifetime of the relationship. So that's one side of the equation, LTV. Now, by increasing your LTV, you're basically able to spend more than any of your competition in some cases on client acquisition costs, right? which is the ultimate goal. You want your LTV to be so good that you can outspend all of your competitors. That's something that I know has allowed our company to scale from 0 to almost 120 full-time team members in just 6 years. Is we have great unit economics and we have great LTV. So we're able to outspend a lot of our competitors. I mean, right now we're spending $17,000 to acquire a client. And that's perfectly fine because our LTV is so high that that's no big deal for us. But for most of our competitors, if they had to spend $17,000 to acquire a client, they probably stop marketing. And that's just because we've done a lot of business model innovation to be able to do that as a company. All right, so the second side is client acquisition costs, CAC. And it's really the ratio of LTV to CAC that matters. So client acquisition cost is literally dividing the total amount of money that you spent on sales and marketing expenses. So that includes sales salaries, commissions, any sales tech you have, marketing team salaries, if you have a marketing team, marketing vendors, marketing ad spend, every single penny that you spent to acquire a customer through sales and marketing efforts. And you basically take the total amount you spent on sales and marketing and you divide that by the total number of clients signed during that same period. If your company signed up 94 clients and spent $1.6 million on sales and marketing, 1.6 million divided by 94 clients is $17,000 cost per acquisition. If you spent $100,000 to sign up 100 clients, that means that you spent $1,000 to sign up each of those 100 clients. $1,000 multiplied by 100 is $100,000 in total sales and marketing spend. If your LTV on that $1,000 cost of acquisition is $10,000, that means that you're at a 10 to 1 LTV to CAC ratio. Every company has most companies have different products and services. Let's say you have one product or service that's worth $50,000 in LTV and you want to be at a 10 to 1 ratio in LTV to CAC. Well, that means that you can spend no greater than $5,000 to sign up a client for that $50,000 LTV package. If you have a package that's LTV is $200,000 and you want to be at a 10 to 1 ratio, you can spend no greater than $20,000 to acquire that client, 1/10 of that, right? What most people get wrong when they look at this formula is they look at cost of acquisition on an island. They don't segment it by cohort, they don't segment it by product, and therefore, let's say you have a super expensive product, you're not segmenting your cost of acquisition for that more expensive product versus a cheaper product, which you'd be willing to spend a lot less to acquire a client for. So how do you actually lower your cost of acquisition? Well, the first step is to not lower it and to actually just increase your LTV, like I said earlier, right? Just increase the amount of money you're making per client so that the amount you spend to acquire a client isn't a big deal to you and you can outspend your competition. But there are some cases where you have to lower your cost of acquisition. And the best way to do that is to really just shop around and talk to other competitors and figure out other people's cost of acquisition so that you have a realistic understanding of what it really takes to acquire a customer in your market. That's one of the best ways, is literally to just connect with real life human beings who run companies in a similar space as yours that know their numbers and ask them about their CAC, right? And get clear data on that. Once you have a reference point, you may learn that your cost of acquisition is not the problem, your LTV is the problem, right? Well, then you need to go solve LTV. Alternatively, you may learn that your cost of acquisition strategy isn't working and you need to change something. Let's say that you're spending $2,000 to sign up a client, but you should be spending $1,000 to sign up a client. Your strategy there is really to remove everything that does not sign you clients, right? To go through a process of focus and to focus on only the things that are signing clients for you, and simultaneously to be aware of two other things that tie into this: brand and your sales process. Your sales process is probably the most important thing to lowering your CAC, your cost of acquisition. Because let's say that you spend $100 on marketing, you sign up 2 clients and you have a bad sales process. Let's say you fix your sales process and instead of signing up 2 clients, you sign up 10 clients because you fix your sales process. Well, you've just taken your CAC from $50 down to $10 and you're not spending any more money on marketing. That's why focusing on your sales process is one of the best ways to lower your cost of acquisition. The second strategy is to focus on brand. Understand that when people don't know who your company is, you're going to have a higher cost of acquisition as you're breaking through marketplace noise. So you gotta do things that rise the tide of your overall brand and directly reduce your cost of acquisition. And oftentimes, this is the hardest thing to get right because sometimes what you do for intentional branding is not directly tied to ROI, and you have to actually use platforms like Hauser to create cross-channel attribution. But we found so much success in doing this because we found so many blue ocean opportunities that most of our competitors don't do, because we were able to track cross-platform return on investment from when someone first became aware of our brand to when someone actually converted, picked up the phone and called us and became a client. So LTV to CAC is the holy grail of all business metrics. If you get this right, you're probably gonna be a happy person and rich. So you should definitely call me if that's the case. We should get dinner together and talk about business strategy. If not, you need to work on this and you need to clear your calendar and start thinking about how do you increase your lifetime value? How do you decrease your cost of acquisition? And how do you actually start tracking numbers like this so you're not staring into an abyss when it comes to the most important business metric, arguably ever. So I hope you got value from this. If you implement what I'm telling you, promise you, you're gonna see some huge breakthroughs. And leave a comment below on your biggest takeaway from this video so I know what to double down on and respond to. And I'll see you in the next one.